are going to Rockford right now. We're heading to pick up some glasses. Lots of glasses.
Lots.
Like hundreds of glasses.
Yes.
Because we're going to a wedding tomorrow for Jackie Schaefer and Phil Jasecki. So yeah, the place the hall they're renting is basically just an empty hall. So they have to cater in everything. So we're the ones in charge of picking up glasses. We are stopping at some rental place in Rockford, picking the glasses up.
We're gonna get loaded.
We're gonna get loaded.
In Rockford, we're gonna get loaded.
And then we're heading up to Galena for the wedding. Woohoo, Galena!
Woo-hoo. Sorry, I didn't follow along there.
Okay. Yeah, we're trying to find this place. We should be there in 8 minutes, and then we will load the truck up.
Get loaded.
Get loaded. So I'm not sure how. There was some like confusion with the sizes of the containers and how it's going to fit in our vehicle, and we were worried like, are we going to fit all these glasses into my pickup truck?
Not that there was confusion per se. The original person I spoke to on the phone didn't know if it would fit.
Yes, and confusion on his part.
I guess so, because...
Got a point. You know who you are. All right, so we got all the glasses. They fit, all of them. Now we're gonna remember where every single glass goes, so we can return them all. Sending a picture to Jackie.
After you hand wash and dry.
Yes.
Every single glass, no spots.
Oh my God, it is making so many like glass noises. I'm getting nervous. I don't know if you can hear it. Oh, railroad tracks. Oh God.
Oh, man.
So this is gonna be a scary ride with a back end full of glasses. This is going to be really interesting.
If you see us driving on the road, please avoid us.
Oh gosh. I hope we make it with all the glasses. How many do we pick up? How many?
That is actually 360 glasses.
Oof.
I'm sorry, 560 glasses.
560 glasses.
560.
Holy crap snacks. That is a lot. And you know, I am the most accident-prone person.
Oh, don't even say
I am so accident-prone. I should not be in charge of this, but...
We're in charge of the fragile items, yes. Randee can't pick up a wine glass without breaking it. And we have a truckload full
of glasses and wine glasses. Whose bright idea was this to have me do this?
Could you pick a worse road?
Yes, and of course we picked the road with all the potholes.
I think it's better on the right.
All right, we're gonna go to the right. This is so bad.
Oh, it sucks.
This is where we're staying for the weekend in Galena. This house is pretty cool. It's got 5 bedrooms. Each bedroom has its own bathroom, which is super convenient with the large group, because we now have 12 people in our unit. We had some other friends who were staying at another cheap motel, and I guess it was scary. Little tiny nothing bathroom with, it was a pedestal sink. And yeah, it's a woman, you know, women like to do makeup, of course. And yeah, there's nowhere to put anything on a pedestal sink. And also there was no heat in their house. Seriously, if you're renting out of rooms, I mean, yes, it is getting warmer out, but still nicer, still cool. No heat in the place, come on, come on. So we told her to get her stuff and come over here because we had an extra room. So they came here this morning and they're staying with us tonight. Because yeah, that was a crappy place. And it's more fun to be with us. So we're gonna head to downtown Galena today and do some more shopping, and we're gonna probably take a trolley tour. And also I wanna check out the Dowling house. It's a house that was built in 1826, one of the first houses built in Galena. So that should be pretty cool. It'd be neat to see something that was built that long ago and see how they lived then. Interesting. All right, so let's go. Here, downtown Galena. These buildings are just so cool. Wow, fire department, built in 1940.
Look at that house up on the hill. It's for sale. Add to cart.
Cool truck. You can definitely hear better.
I can hear better.
That was shopping for extra ears. So
it's funny because you can't see my ears. So it's like,
there's your ears, yes. We have found the everlasting gobstopper, only because you can't fit it in your mouth.
Sorry.
That's like, just pull it near your mouth. Yeah, impossible. No way. You have to like break that into a million pieces.
So heavy too. It is heavy.
Wow, that is heavy.
That is seriously how much sugar? Or even the small one.
It's a struggle to get in. Now that is old. I thought I was old, but that is old. That's crazy. It's just like the whole house is just built out of stones. For short people.
I was gonna check the door a little.
Is it a tiny door? I can't get in.
I'm 5'6" and
yeah, short door. Okay, we just did the tour of the Dowling house. Unfortunately, we could not bring cameras in there. We weren't allowed to take any pictures, but it was cool. The next tour is already going on in. But it was really neat to see. A lot of, actually, it was considered a mansion back then. And
very cool inside.
Mr. Dowling owned that house. He owned this building that's behind me. And then, I'm swinging around really fast, across the street, you see the same old stone building. He owned that one too. So he actually had several buildings in this area. So he was considered a quite wealthy person in his time. But to imagine that little house right there was considered a mansion, that's a huge mansion. All right, this house was built in 1851. This is a typical house for people in the 1850s. And actually, as you can see, it's only one room with a loft up above it. So the original owners, it was a husband and wife with 4 kids. So 6 people living in this one house crawling into the side of a loft. And then after that, there was a family that had 6 kids. Can you imagine? 8 people living in this little tiny house. So basically it's just one room that you have 8 people in, and then crawling into a loft to sleep at night. And that was just a typical house for people. Crazy. So here we are walking up to, which was Ulysses S. Grant's house. 1860, I think he lived here. So this house was given to him after the war. Galena gave this to him. So this was his, he had several houses here, didn't he? He lived in different locations.
What a nice present.
Mm-hmm. Here, have this house.
It's a very pretty house. Made of the Galena brick.
Yep.
Or from, I should say.
Yep, Galena brick.
Galena brick. There's a statue of Mrs. Grant over there that's been newly constructed.
Now the reason he came here, you see, his folks had this tanning farming business in Ohio, but they also owned a leather goods store here in Galena. Grant's 2 brothers ran. 1860, one of the brothers became ill, unable to work, so Grant came here to replace his brother. 38 years of age at the time, married, 4 children, 3 sons and a daughter, and at that time rented a home across town on High Street. Well, about 11 months later, Civil War broke out. Being a West Point graduate, experienced military man that he was, he volunteered to train the troops in this area for President Lincoln, and he left for the war. So you see, it wasn't until the war was over in 1865 Grant was given this home. 13 prominent citizens here in Galena bought and furnished it for him in appreciation for what he did during the war. Bought it from the original owner, who built it in 1860. Paid the grand total of $2,500 for the home and the furniture. Yeah, I guarantee you won't get it for that now. But it was a lot of money back then. Well, Grant was actually here in 1868 when he was elected our 18th president. 46 years of age, one of our younger presidents, Republican, filled 2 terms. After that second term, left on a 2.5-year world tour, visited over 30 countries, received many, many gifts. We do have a few in the home, and of course I'll point them out as we go along. But after his tour, he did return here for a short time, then retired to New York in 1880. That's where he passed away of throat cancer in 1885 at the age of 63. Now his wife Julia lived for another 17 years. They're both entombed in Riverside Park, New York, the largest mausoleum in North America. 2 years after she passed, the children deeded the home and the furnishings over to the city of Galena, stipulating it be left as a memorial. State took it over in 1931. We've been state funded since that time. Now all this beautiful black furniture here are upholstered with horsehair and silk, tails and manes of horses woven with silk thread. The green chair here was the general's favorite chair. He actually took that to the White House and back with him. He liked it so well.
Over in the corner.
Amazing with the high ceilings in this house. Dressing room. So, walk-in closet as we call it nowadays. Because we have a lot more clothes.
There's no tower bell. There must be a tower bell.
Yeah, there must be.
Oh, it's a really high ceiling.
Yeah.
That's down in southeastern Ohio.
Yeah, so.
I know where that's at.
Jesse's room. He had the small little tiny room.
He was the youngest.
Like how every room's got its little heater. A library. What is this? And what is that? Oh, it's probably where the... I don't know what that is.
The ridges, that's a fluting iron used for ruffles and pleats. Next one, little pointy snout sleeve iron. Next two are called flat or sat or smoothing irons used for larger pieces of cloth. I always had to have at least 2, if not more. One to heat on the stove while I use the other, because they'd only hold their heat anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes, depending on the size and weight of the iron.
Blueprints. Where we're standing right now is actually in the middle of where the river used to be years ago, back in the 1800s. Because this was, Galena used to be a big time iron mining town. And with the mining of the iron, you needed to smelt the iron. And to smelt it, you need wood. Where do you get the wood? All the trees on the hillside. So once they chopped down all the trees on the hillside, there was nothing there to hold the soil at bay. So all the soil with storms and rain it slowly came and filled up the entire Galena River. So at one time when this area was a bustling area with tons of people here, this was actually a bigger city than Chicago at the time. They used to get several riverboats would come in here to move people, transport people and goods. And with the river gone, couldn't really move people anymore. So this town started to die after that. We have the Belvedere mansion up there. He was actually a riverboat captain, and his mansion's here. He basically abandoned his home because with the river disappearing, he knew that this town was going to die, so he packed up all his things and just left his house. So, oh yeah, size of river. The size of the river, actually, well, I don't think this road was here at the time, but if you see from back over here, the river used to be from this point all the way across to the stone wall back on that side. That's how big the river used to be. And now it is just a small little tiny little, I would almost call it a creek now. So yes, no river boats, not even, really only kayaks are really the only thing going in that river nowadays. So the way Galena did what they did to reboost their economy in this area, they decided to make it a tourist town and keep all the old homes, which they almost destroyed the old homes when our government actually gave them money to help invigorate the town again. And the first thing they started doing was knocking down buildings, thinking, hey, let's knock down these buildings. We'll put up brand new buildings and make a better town. And after they got about half a dozen buildings down, they realized, wait a minute, these are some cool buildings. There's a lot of history here. We have presidents who were in these homes.
Let's bank on tourism.
Let's bank on tourism, and that's what they did, and it worked. Because now the town is
rated number 3 as far as a tourist town in the United States, I believe.
No, third in Illinois.
Third in Illinois.
Third in Illinois.
Oh, they said third in Illinois.
Yes.
Sorry.
The first one is Chicago. Second one is Springfield, and Galena is number 3 for tourists. This house was actually where Grant did his farewell speech when he was heading off to the presidency. He actually stood up on that balcony over there and talked to the town of Galena and said his little farewell speech, saying, I'm off to be the president. Bye, everyone. Just a cool church.
There's some birds living in the nooks and crannies on the brick wall. Kind of up there, you kind of see where it's dark. See, they're going in there, they're living in there. It's really cool. They just go right in. I don't know if they have nests and babies currently.
Alright, so you ever heard a term just like a brick something IT house? You know, the brick outhouse.
It's a
So
brick
there you go. There's a brick outhouse, we'll call it, just to be safe for now. But
for all of you.
yes, that wonderful phrase that everyone knows, that's an actual real one right there. You know, because basically
it's built like a brick outhouse.
yeah, it is built like a brick outhouse. We are on our way back from Galena. We're heading back home. We made it there with all the glasses intact. Yay! Didn't break a single glass. A little nervous on the way. On the way in, the GPS took us on a strange route through some back roads. And there's some really awesome buildings and things I'd like to go look at. But on the way out, you know, our reception is so bad we couldn't get the GPS going. So we just drove around a bit in those back roads until the GPS kicked on, and it told us to head home, but it was taking us on a different route, so it didn't take us to those cool roads we were on before.
We should have taken a left turn in Albuquerque.
Yes, we did not take the left turn in Albuquerque. We should have. But we'll have to come back out here again sometime and do that. There were some really really cool areas to look at. And so future vid, we'll check out these interesting side road stuff. Like I said, we're heading home. It was a good time. The wedding was great. Congratulations, Jackie and Phil Jasicki. It was an awesome wedding. It was really different. Most weddings, they'll have like a dance floor going and a DJ. They didn't. They actually had a whole bunch of arcade games. So that was...
They had a dance floor.
There's a dance floor. There was
dance floor.
music going, but it wasn't like your typical... It was just them playing off their iPad or whatever. But it wasn't typical, hey, DJ, go dance, do the chicken dance.
Chicken
No.
dance. Thank
None
goodness.
of that. None of that. So it was just
Good music, good times.
air hockey table. That was fun.
Two wonderful families combined. Very cool.
Yeah, so it was a good time, good wedding. And yeah, now we're heading home. Gotta see the puppy. Puppy's been at her neighbor's house for the whole weekend. So it's time to go see how she's doing and feed her some puppy supper. And time for us to now unpack, wash our clothes, and just kick back and rock. I think relax for the rest of the night. I don't think we'll
Sleep in our own bed.
Yeah, sleep in our own bed. It's always weird sleeping in a different bed. You know, our bed's nice and soft. Then you go somewhere else, you got this really hard bed. Oh yeah, it also sagged in the middle. So you kind of like, as the night's going, you start rolling in, which is interesting. But yeah, anyway, thanks for coming along with us. And yeah, just remember, every day's a good day.